Any tips on improving self-esteem? While people around me are all excited about the start of this year, I'm just wallowing in thinking, am I really good enough to do this, and why bother?
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I've been there myself with my work when I was a full-time muso, and I say full-time loosely because it's basically whenever I could land a gig. I would find myself in those states a lot, thinking, do I have what it takes to do this work? Am I good enough? Is it going to be too hard? And getting just really down and low. And this was before I got trained as a psychologist. I had no idea where to start. I think what we found in the research is, it's more important to find out the reasons for low self-esteem and address those rather than try to enhance self-esteem for its own sake. Yeah, so you'll see lots of, fun clickbaity titles about boosting self-esteem by, keeping a gratitude journal and doing things that make you feel good and writing out your accomplishments. And all those things are great. However, they might not necessarily get to the root of why, you're in these sort of rumination spirals, like wallowing in these thoughts, thinking, are you good enough and why bother? I'm sure that imposter syndrome, as with, lots of different career areas, but particularly I think within the creative careers, can be a real killer, just leaving us sort of mired in a lot of insecurity, feeling like we're the only ones who feel that way. And so, as a psychologist, my recommendation would be to see a therapist, see a psychologist, see a counselor, where you can talk about these feelings in a safe, supportive space, maybe do some digging to find out, where do these thoughts come from? How are they impacting you? And how you can learn some strategies to start untangling yourself from these notions of not good enough, from not competent, from not capable. It can be confronting work at times. It can feel daunting, but definitely you can try to self-help away these issues, and they may feel a little better for a little while, but they're probably just going to come and pop back up again.
Yeah, brilliant. Have you experienced this, Simon? How do you get back up? I'm pretty sure we've spoken about this in the past.
Yeah, I have experienced it. The interesting thing with self-worth is that, I mean, say 10 years ago, if someone had asked me to evaluate my own sense of self-worth, I'd have gone, 10 out of 10. But I was experiencing these, but it wasn't overt questioning whether I was good enough. It was just a general kind of spiral of negativity that would occur, and got bad enough for me to ultimately reach out for help and talk with a therapist. And lo and behold, the thing that came up fairly rapidly was actually that there was low self-worth. And as Ash said, it can be quite a confronting process. But going and seeing that therapist was the best thing I ever did. And so, would I say right now that I'm constantly happy and nothing negative ever comes up? No, but I know what the root of the issue is. I'm conscious of it. I can see it, and so it makes it a whole lot easier to deal with those sorts of situations. So, but I was like the thought. I sort of grew up in an era where therapy was really taboo. It was only kind of either self-obsessed celebrities or genuinely mad people who saw therapists. And so the thought, I'll never do that. I'll never do that. It was a real big step for me to go to a GP, kind of say, listen, this is what I'm experiencing some anxiety, and then going and see a therapist. But it was the best thing I ever did. So if you're thinking about it, do it. It's actually great. You get to have a chat with someone like Ash. Good.
And you know what, Simon? I remember the first time someone suggested that I see a therapist. Retrospectively, I was quite depressed and anxious after having my voice not working anymore, losing all my work and my sense of identity and everything. And I remember going, no, I don't need to see a therapist. That's for like people with schizophrenia and serious problems. Like we have in our own mind, and we might go, oh, it's okay for other people to see a therapist, but not me. And like, oh, I don't want to take spots away from people who are really struggling or who really have challenges. Sometimes we can, undermine ourselves in that way. And yeah, I took the plunge. I had a supportive friends who said, I think you should do this. It'll be good for you. And lo and behold, 6 years later, here I am sitting on the other side of the couch. So yeah, it can be a scary first step, but it can make a huge, huge difference in your life and work and relationships.